Hi. Hello. Happy Monday. It's Monday morning and we're live. I'm Sophia Wren. I'm a writer, I'm an editor, and a writing coach to help you make faster progress for your book or your business writing. And also love organizing ideas with things like Notion and Obsidian, digital organizers. And I'm really, really passionate about a charity in Sierra Leone, which helps women and girls to get education and to escape human rights abuse. And today we're going to be doing a co-work together. Just know that by being a part of this, you are in support of a really big charitable effort to help other people. Whether you can give any other resource other than your attention, you're here, you're helping us spread the word. So thank you for being a part of this with us. I just started this so that everybody has an ability to help, no matter what is going on in your budget. You can still help because paying attention, being aware, and being of support really does help us to spread the word, because of how YouTube works. So any views, any comments, any likes, all of it is super helpful. Thank you so much. And if you ever want to know in advance, not really in advance, but if you ever want to know when we're live, like if you missed this live, or you want to see the live ones in the future, make sure to hit subscribe and hit the bell, which is going to be how you can get notified when I put out all my videos. So hit that option to get notified for all my videos from the bell, and then you'll always know when we're going live. So I'm going to try to do this this spring as kind of an experiment to see if it's helpful for us to spread the word for our projects that we're doing. I also just, I've done things like this in the past, just sort of like as a free service to the community. I know that there's been a lot of disruption. Today is January 27th, 2025. There's been a lot of disruption. Let's be honest, like in our lifetimes, we're going to have a lot of disruption. I'm 37 right now, and we have a huge climate crisis. We have lots of technological change. Like, my lifetime is not going to be a boring one. I was just listening to Lord of the Rings, the first book, the other day, and there was the quote of like Frodo saying, I really wish I didn't live in difficult times. And I was like, can relate, check that box, yes, relatable. And then Gandalf is like, well, we don't get to pick, the times that we live in. All we can pick is what we choose to do with the times that are given to us. And I absolutely agree with that. So over the last couple of years for me, it's been difficult, even if it hasn't been for other people, because my father passed away and it was my only parent. So that was a really big deal for me. And I think that for me, like working with this charity, I kind of started to work with this charity like just before that, in Sierra Leone. And it's really helpful, I think, for just keeping things in perspective, that even though I felt like so much had been taken away from me and that I was in such a bad place compared to my peers, there's other people on the planet who do have it worse. And, it is important to give yourself empathy for where you are. So I'm not invalidating that. I'm not saying that because there's other people in the world that have it worse, we can't have compassion for ourselves. No, I don't think that that's the answer. I think compassion for ourselves allows us to have more compassion for others, and compassion for others allows us to have more compassion for ourselves. I think there's a magical way that it can be a win-win to have empathy in our hearts for other people who are doing worse than us, and being of service to them in whatever small way you can help you get out of a funk, can help you get out of a depression, can help you get out of a place of darkness, because you're bringing light to others and they're going to be reflecting it back with their gratitude and their appreciation for you. And you can look back on your life knowing, wow, I did this. Like, I'm really glad that I got to be here to do this work. And so that's why I continue to spread the word about my piece of the puzzle. We all have our own piece of the puzzle. That's my piece of the puzzle that I talk about. I know that we're all different and we all have different pieces to do. And it's my vision that we're all going to fit the pieces of things that we work on together in the end to create a beautiful and harmonious whole. So as it's Monday, I think that my first instinct, of course, is to run as fast as possible into the week and try to start doing things. But I would invite us all to just take some time together to orient ourselves and to remember what our priorities are and kind of set ourselves up for the rest of the week in a more efficient manner. So that's what our intention is going to be for this session. And we are going to have some time to do some like writing together, journaling together, exploration together about those priorities. And then I'm kind of going intuitively with what feels right. So we'll see how the time goes. Just so you know, there were a couple other co-works that I did that were just focused on like getting things done. The last one was getting one thing done, one quick thing done. And the other one, my very first ever co-work live from this year, is like a longer session. So if you, after doing this, you want to have a little bit more time to check things off of your list and you enjoy having the company of my voice and someone else working alongside you, you can go check out those replays. If you don't see them on my channel, it's because you have to go to the live section and then they will be on. Hey, hello, postgrad year. I see you finally got one. Hooray. Yay. So we have a couple of this is the third one we've ever done this year. So we have a couple replays. If you enjoy this, you can always go check those out. But I do hope to do more of these. And yeah, maybe you'll catch one and we will do it together. So I was just saying that we're going to do like a little bit of a orientation for the week and try to figure out kind of where we need to put our energy. And I'm thinking both like, where do we want to have boundaries? Because having boundaries helps us to have capacity to do other things. I think boundaries can be so emotional for me because I don't like having to set boundaries like with people, and I don't like having to be like, no, I'm not allowed to like go on social media right now or something like that. Like it requires a lot of discipline. It sometimes involves maybe kind of a conflict with someone or disappointing someone, it feels like. But in the end, it gives you so much more energy and relieves so much stress that wastes a lot of time. So it is really important. It can be a little uncomfortable in the middle, but the finish line is so good. So I wanted to bring up that topic of boundaries. What are our boundaries going to be for the week? Maybe there's something new that you need to introduce or continue that you're still working on or that is really helpful. And you just got to remind yourself, like me, like be careful about scrolling. That's my big thing for me. So you might have something. We're going to kind of dive into like thinking about that. And then the second thing is just thinking about kind of your goals for the week. And what is the most important kind of stuff that at the end of the week, looking back, you want to have accomplished? So I'm going to guide us through like a process to get clear on those. And that's kind of our goals for like the next 10 minutes, I would say. So every time I do this so far, I've done a little like practice of getting in your body and just sort of breathing to kind of chill before we get our minds working hard. So let's go ahead and do that now. So I'm going to just remind you that you are a human that has a body, and maybe you've been up in your head, maybe you've been thinking a lot. Like, let's just tune into like, how is our body doing? How are we sitting? How are we standing? Are we thirsty? Are we uncomfortable? What can you do to be physically more comfortable? I'm going to drink some coffee. Just sort of your body and just become aware of how you feel in it right now. Not judging it, just being aware of it. Go ahead and take some deep breaths in. Make sure to try to feel in your belly as you breathe. Feeling into all the sides of your stomach as you breathe. And one more. Just letting go of your thoughts and breathing. Focusing on your body. And now just observe, is there anywhere in your body that's tense? Can you kind of imagine that with your next breath, you're breathing into that tense spot? Maybe breathing into it can help loosen it a little bit. So just do that again. It's an amazing thing as we relax our body. it can just alleviate actual real thought stress. So one more time, thinking about what's tense in my body, what can I breathe into? It is safe to just take a minute to do this. I tend to race, so I'm going to breathe into that racing feeling in my body. It's a way to be compassionate with ourselves. Just breathing. Okay, so I'm going to invite you to take some notes. And why don't we just start with that physical sensations you notice? Like, let's just observe them objectively. If you have somewhere you can write it down on paper or in a document, in a note, digitally, that's cool too. So let's just write down, like, what did you notice? Or what are you noticing now when you observe your body, how you're feeling, any tension? Did any of it move or release? Let's just take some note of our physical selves for 2 minutes. If you get any ideas of something that will make you feel better, make sure to write that down too. Let's start the week caring for ourselves. 2 minutes. Almost done the time. Okay, so that's really important to remember what's going on in your body, because unbeknownst to us, the stresses that we've learned to tune out can actually dictate our behavior and turn us like one way that's just a very default automated way to go. And so now we're introducing like some awareness and intentionality. And it's not about like magically fixing ourselves so that we don't ever feel stress. It's just like, even if you nudge yourself a few ticks in another direction, you're still like taking control of your own life and not letting reactions dictate everything. You know, like, this is our power. This is our ability to decide our path. And it's extremely important to have that agency, because no matter what goes around you, you can't control everything, but you can control what you're doing with your agency. And again, even little microscopic shifts make a big difference over time. If you think about a boat, if it's gonna like shift a couple of ticks on the compass, like in another direction, and it goes like miles and miles and miles that direction, it's gonna land somewhere totally different, even if it was just a microscopic turn. So don't underestimate the power that you have in your life, even if you only have the power to change something small. It's very important. So as we go forward now, let's just ponder. I'm going to give us some more little timed writes to just brainstorm, write whatever comes to you. And again, don't judge it. Just the point is just to try to write during this time. So I'm going to give us another 2 minutes, 3 minutes. Question I have for you is, what boundaries have been coming up for you is really important that you want to keep in mind this week going forward? So what boundaries? Boundaries are things like maybe a conversation to have with somebody about something that's bothering you, that you want to change what's going on. Maybe it's about something you need to stop doing. Maybe it's a way you need to stop thinking. Those are some ideas of different boundaries. So let's do 2 minutes. What boundaries are coming up for you as important to keep in mind for the future oncoming week? So 2 minutes to write. Okay, I'm going to give us another 2 minutes now. In this 2 minutes, I would love for you to write to the part of yourself that is resisting having this boundary. We're going to write a letter. And then if you want to imagine what it might be saying back to you, you can have a little dialogue. So for instance, like for me, the part of me that is like, I have to scroll social media. What are you talking about? We don't need boundaries. I'll be like, dear Sophia, who's obsessed with social media scrolling, hi, what is it about this so important to you? What are you so scared of giving up? Like, what's so bad about not scrolling? Can you tell me more? And just approach it with curiosity and see what it says. Let's just like hear the part out that does not want boundaries and see what it's thinking about. Okay, out of curiosity, what is like in the way of the boundary? So 2 minutes, just brainstorm whatever you get. Okay, just remember you can continue this anytime you want. If you enjoy what's happening here, you might come to a compromise position because it doesn't have to be all or nothing with things. That would be healthy. So, okay, so what I would love to do now, I'm going to give you one last minute to kind of conclude this discussion about boundaries. Go ahead and thank the part of you that you just wrote a letter to that didn't want a boundary. Just thank it for whatever you've learned and spend this 1 minute just sort of writing down any big insight you want to remember for later. 1 minute. Okay. Okay, and feel free to, if you feel like sharing in the chat anything, you totally can, or don't, or just say hi. Because anytime you say hi in the chat or anything, then you're kind of boosting our video to reach more people and thus helping out people all over the world that we help with our charity. So thank you for doing that. Hope that was helpful for you. That was helpful for me. And let's just take one more breath. If you're joining us, we've been spending some time feeling into our physical body so that way we can be more empowered going through the week. So let's just give our bodies one more deep breath. Very thankful we can have the luxury of feeling our feelings and bodies today without having to get into fight or flight, hopefully. Just taking some breaths. Hi. Thank you for leaving me a comment. Okay, so for me personally, something I do every week is I review the week past. It's a really cool habit that I have. And in the course of that, I kind of make a list of things that I want to do for the week, each week. So when I'm thinking about the week ahead, I like to look back. So you might not have this kind of practice. It's a really great one. I really recommend if you don't have it. But perhaps you have other ways of writing down what you were trying to do in the past. Perhaps you have a to-do list that you wrote last week. Perhaps you have a calendar where you jotted down some things that needed to happen. Perhaps you have a journal. Perhaps you have a note on your phone. So where did you in the past record your priorities or the things that you wanted to get done? Let's take some time to dig that up. And then I would like us to sponge up all that information, and then we can set our goals and intentions for the week ahead. So first, we're going to sponge up all the information we already have from the past, and then we will do the next step. Okay, so let's go ahead and check in with whatever writing or notes or task lists or calendars or whatever we've already had from last week or before, where we might have written down what all we want to do. So let's go ahead and review that. Let's see where we're at given our past desires. I'm giving us 5 minutes for this. So you have some time to dig up things. And if there's anything like you want to jot down for this week as you look at the past, feel free to do that. That's what I'm going to do. Okay, I'm kind of on a roll and I want to keep doing this. So I'm going to put another 5 minutes on the clock where I'm just looking at things I wrote in the past about stuff I needed to do and like transferring it to like a new fresh area for this week and moving it around in terms of what is the priority I'm kind of putting at the top. So I'm putting another 5 minutes on the clock to keep doing it. Okay, wrapping this up. Okay, so I think now would be a good time just to I don't want to keep us too long, so I'm going to try to wrap things up now with just one last little exploration here. Let's just take another like 2-3 minutes. Given all these things, perhaps you have quite the list of things that need to be done. What would you consider to be like the major priorities? Like if there's like 3 priorities for the week of things you really don't want to forget this week in time, let's just take some time kind of like brainstorming, writing these down, writing our thoughts about why these things for the next 3 minutes. And then we will wrap up for today. So 3 minutes on what are the top 3 or major things for the week out of all of the things you could spend your time on and why. Okay, wrapping up. One of the things that came up for me was that I really need to celebrate how well we've been doing with the fundraisers that we're doing. So I started these coworks as just one more way to connect to the community and share and create positivity and excitement around what we're doing with the fundraisers we're doing to help 2 women in Sierra Leone graduate college. We last year we were able to fundraise for 1 year of college, And this year we're doing that again for their next year. So in the last week, we raised about $400. I don't know the exact number, but we raised about $400, which is almost half of what one of the students needs by the end of February. So we met our January goal. And with that, we were able to give her school supplies. So she needed supplies to enter her science lab, like a full coat and like a hat and like shoes and like a gown and gloves and the whole deal. We got like the whole outfit, and we just sent the money over to her so she can actually attend class and not fall behind. So that's thanks to people donating like $25 and small amounts, but it really makes a difference. And it's a little bit easier for us to make a difference if we're from the West because currencies are different. And it's not like here where trying to cover someone's college could be like $100,000 or something like that. Over there, it's like 1,000, maybe a couple hundred, it depends. But it's a lot more achievable to change someone's life. And I just think a lot of people need that right now, that knowledge that like good things are happening and people are helping people and people want to help people, and just wanting to is something you should hang on to. And it's such a gift, like just wanting to, whether you can or not, just wanting to help people and be of service, I think is just such a beautiful thing. And there's so many of us with that desire in us, and we don't talk about it as much as we should. Like we should celebrate that. There's people who care about people on this planet, and there's a lot of us, and we're working together and we're doing things. And I can't tell you how important finding some way to be of service has been for me to get me out of the darkness in my life. Like it's just important to hang on to the light and to hang on to the service that you can offer. And it's different for everyone, so it doesn't need to look like what I do. But again, just being here on these lives, like it really is helpful for us to spread the word about what we're doing. And if you want more information, the link is going to be in the description of this video. We're doing it in conjunction with Her Future Foundation. So I have a page with all the information about that, all the information about where we're at in the fundraiser and who it's helping and what's going on. So that's all available for you. And I just want to celebrate how well it's been going, how happy people are to help, and that we're shining that light and we're pushing forward. Even though honestly, this last week was a challenge, it just felt like so much noise in the world, so difficult to get any message through into people's consciousness. So the fact that we were able to raise this, honestly, I almost gave up at a certain point. So it amazes me that we did this, and we're going to keep trying to get the full amount for both of the girls through the spring. So we're going to continue to do this. So yes, let's celebrate what's going on. That's good. So just happy to share. And that was on my list of important things to do. So did anything surprise you on your list? I didn't see that one coming. I hope that this has been helpful for you. And now feel free to continue to do this sort of work if you need more time, but I'm going to call it there. And keep an eye out for our future lives by making sure to subscribe and hitting the bell so that you get all notifications of all my videos. And then hopefully whenever I go live, you will know when it's happening and you can hop on and you can join us. But if you're in the replay, feel free to leave us comments and likes and love, and that will help us to serve others too. So thank you so much for being here. Really appreciate it, and hope you have a good day. I'll check the comments later if you have any more things you want to share. See ya.